Today we continue to study the book of Revelation. We come to the last church letters, which is a letter to the church of Laodicea, the angel of that church. The title is Lukewarm Church. This Laodicea church letter, out of all the letter, every letter is related to us because the letters right to each the believer has to read, but the letter which is most related to present day church is the letter to the church of Laodicea. So we will study this more in detail. We shall study it in two sessions. Now, first of all, we talk about some of the situation of the Laodicean church. The Laodicean church is a church in a valley known as Lycus Valley, which is in Turkey. There is a valley nearby. There are three churches there. We especially read the Colossians chapter 4. There are three churches mentioned: the Colossian church, Laodicean church, and Hierapolis church. These three cities, these three places is very near. So you see that Paul, when you read the Laodicean letter, then go to Colossian, and Colossian shall also read Laodicean letter. So when you measure the distance, Laodicean is just 10 miles west of Colossian, which is just like Hong Kong to New Territory, or Laodicean to the Hierapolis, which is just 6 miles south. So you see that these cities are very near and very related. Let's see some of the history about the Church of Laodicea. The Church of Laodicea, we see that which is relating to the letter. We do not talk about other things not related. First of all, the city of Laodicea is along in the important highway junction, which is joined with 4 other roads. So obviously it is a very important place for commerce and business because it is connected with a lot of places, 4 roads and highway. And second thing is, we know that Laodicea city is a place which is a banking center, a financial center. A lot of money, a lot of saving and wealth are due there, and a lot of trades also due there. So it is a very wealthy city, could be the most wealthiest city in the world in that day, which is the city of Laodicea, which is related to what Jesus Christ said. They are not only wealthy, they are also self-sufficient, very proud, because over there in that 7th city, the area is an earthquake zone. A lot of earthquake happened. A lot of city was destroyed, also partially destroyed by earthquake in AD 60. That city, the city of Laodicea, before 14 years, the Revelation was written. This part of the city was destroyed by the earthquake. All these Asian places are ruled by Roman government, and Roman's government offered to pay the reconstruction, but the city of Laodicea refused to accept this resource. They use their own resource to rebuild their city. So they think that they are self-sufficient, they are wealthy. If they have so much money, then that's why they attract a lot of people. A lot of Jews go there to stay, and also a lot of people who are rich and retire there and live there. So it is not only a very lively city, but also has a lot of rich and retired people. And this rich people heart is everything I have complete for my life. So I come here to enjoy my life. So they are very sensitive. They are not very concerned about the thing happening to the society. They are lukewarm to the issue facing the society. They are not care about the things happen around them. They only care about themselves. And also 13 miles from that city, there is a famous school of medicine, and this medicine school is related to the pagan gods, and they have created a very important and famous eye medicine, which is a powder. A lot of people use it when they hear Laodicea, they know that about the eye medicine. The eye medicine is also mentioned by Jesus. And Laodicea, which is in a volcano area and earthquake area, as a result, the land is very fertile. We know that whenever the lava of the volcano erupts, the land becomes very fertile. The vegetation and the grass is very abundant because the land is very fertile. Every plant can grow. So for feeding a kind of soft, glossy wool, black wool sheep is very famous. Is there just like some of the land, such as Kashmir, is very famous. So the fur of the wool of the sheep in Laodicea is also very famous. It's very high priced. It is a self-sufficient city, and furthermore, though they are in an earthquake area around them, there is not much water source. They have to draw the water from Hierapolis around 6 miles from Laodicea. There is also a church in Hierapolis. There are a lot of water duck who draw the spring from Hierapolis to Laodicea, because this is a volcano and earthquake area, so has a lot of hot springs. So the water become lukewarm when it arrived at Laodicea. So that's why lukewarm is also related in this way. And then what is the history of that church? How Church of Laodicea is established and come, we do not know. There is the only place Bible mention Laodicea is Revelation and Colossians. These two mention about the Church of Laodicea. We don't know how it come to exist. But we believe that it is likely that Paul in his ministry, he has stayed in Ephesus for 2 to 3 years, and the work may impact on the area of Asia. A lot of churches are established during that time in Acts chapter 19 verse 10, and this continued for 2 years. Talk about Paul's ministry for 2 years, so that all who dwelt in Asia heard the word of the Lord Jesus, both Jews and Greeks. So could be during that time all these three churches, Colossians, Hierapolis, and Laodicea, was established during that time. And in Colossians chapter 4 verse 12 to verse 15, there is co-worker of Paul, Epaphras, this man, which is mentioned in the book of Colossians in chapter 1, Colossians chapter 1, Epaphras in verse 7, as you also learn from, which is talk to Colossians, because three churches is very near, maybe the same person bring the gospel to these three churches, which in Colossians mentioned, as you also learn from Epaphras, our dear fellow servant, who is a faithful minister of Christ on your behalf, who also so Epaphras, who was sent by Paul to be a missionary, an evangelist to Colossians, and he who may also go to Laodicea and Hierapolis. So that's why in Colossians chapter 4, in verse 12 to verse 15, which mention Epaphras, who is one of you, a bondservant of Christ, greets you, always laboring fervently for you in prayers. So we see that when Paul is drafting the book of Colossians, during that time with Colossians, there was Epaphras. So Paul initially sent Epaphras to preach the gospel there and set up the church of Colossians. And then Paul tell Colossian church that the one who is Epaphras from you greet you. When Paul drafted this letter, Epaphras is with Paul. For you, greet you, always laboring fervently for you in prayers, that you may stand perfect and complete in all will of God. For I bear him. So it seems that Epaphras is not in Colossians, but Epaphras still pray for Colossians. And in verse 13, for I bear him witness that he has a great zeal for you, and those who are Laodicea and those in Hierapolis. He said that he not only concerned about Church of Colossians, but also Laodicean Church, but also Hierapolis Church. All these three places is seemingly related strongly with Epaphras. And then in Colossians chapter 2, at the beginning, Apostle Paul said that, for I want you to know what a great conflict I have for you and those in Laodicea, and for as many as have not seen my face in the flesh, that my heart may encourage. Paul said that he concerned strongly with them. I work wholeheartedly for you. A lot of them may not see me by face. So we can deduce that Paul has not gone there to share the gospel, but his co-worker gone there to preach the gospel there. The co-worker is Epaphras, and Epaphras over there established a field church. That's why Paul in prayer concerning about them and draft letter to them. We know that Paul has draft letter to Colossians and also draft letter to Laodicean, because in chapter 4, which mentioned that he also asked Colossians read the letters, send the letter to Church of Laodicean to read in verse 16, chapter 4, verse 16. Now when this episode is read among you, see that it is read also in the Church of the Laodiceans, and that you otherwise read the epistle from Laodicea. But Bible do not have a letter of Laodicea. Why? Because Paul has drafted a lot of letters. In his work, he drafted a lot of letters to various churches, but not all the letters are inspired by the Holy Spirit. That's why the letter of Laodicea is not an inspired letter from the Holy Spirit, so it's not part of the canon of the Bible, and the letter has lost, and we don't know what is the content in the letter, but some of the commentators said that both letters is the same. I don't want to argue on this. This is an academic question, but in a nutshell, we know that about the church of Laodicea, the setup of this church, what time, who set it up, and its close relationship with Paul. It is a good church initially. So this church, which is a good church, then let's read what is the current situation after 40 years set up there, a few decades after set up there. Let's read the letter that Jesus Christ writes to the Laodicea church in verse 15-16 of Revelation chapter 4. I know your works, that you are neither cold nor hot. I could wish you were cold or hot. So then, because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of my mouth. So the whole church, when Jesus Christ drafted this letter, which is around 90 AD, the whole church, the characteristic is lukewarm, not hot nor cold. Why they are not neither cold nor hot? Let's read verse 17. Because you say, I am rich, I have become wealthy, and have need of nothing. This is what they feel about themselves. The church think that they have arrived at richness, they are wealthy, they need nothing, and this church as a result is a lukewarm church. Obviously, the church of Laodicea reminds us that if the city of Laodicea, the people there, their view, their value system, their livelihood is impacting the Christian there, their life is impacting their spiritual life, these two are linked together. First of all, they said that they are rich. They are rich. We know that this church, not only church of the rich people, the Bible didn't say so, but we believe that the city is very rich, the citizen there is also very rich. A lot of people migrate there and retire there, so a lot of them are rich and wealthy. So this church is at least a middle class church, and as a result, they have a lot of rich people, so they are complacent. They think that they have all the things, they have money, they have a good place, they have a lot of stable believer, so they think that they are complacent, they are sufficient, also very complacent about their spiritual situation, and also very complacent with the condition of the church. The number of members is stable, and the church do not have any difficulty, so everything is very complacent and sufficient, and as a result they may even mistook that the physical wealth is the spiritual wealth. This is one of the characteristics of a lot of churches, such as the prosperity of gospel. If you have money, then you have the blessing of God. If your church is big, then it is a blessing of God. They view all things from the outside. From all this outside thing, you will know that how much God bless you. No, all these are wrong. All this without thing is with such as Laodicean church maybe have a lot of people, has a lot of money, have a stable number of people. They mistook that, then I am wealthy. They are not looking at their spiritual situation, what they are seeking to serve God, love God, and pursue God. All these are just without thing. They mistook they are a wealthy and self-sufficient church. They said then they are wealthy. They become wealthy. They are rich. They are wealthy. We have arrived at the best situation. They do not seek for improvement. Maybe because the church is not very big, we have all the things. We do not need more blessing because the blessing of God to us is already overwhelmed. In fact, then that means they do not need God. They do not need God. We can handle ourselves. No matter the work of the church, no matter the ministry of the church, we can deal with all this ourselves. We do not need the help of God. That is the Laodicean church. And from this we see that those who think that they are wealthy, they are self-sufficient, then their heart is very hard. They are hardened because they mistook that they are okay. They have been the best church. They will not concern about sin. They will not concern. They always self-happy to celebrate, to enjoy. They will not think that people will admonishing them. I'm so good, how could I be admonished? I don't have any lacking. I don't need any reminder and any persuasion. When they heard persuasion, they will just be lukewarm to all this admonition and exhortation and teaching. If somebody exhort them, they may listen. They will listen when there is preaching, when there is visitation, when a preacher pass by and remind them, they will hear, they will listen. But after they listen, they will not be impacted. Their heart is hardened. They mistook that they are sufficient and I will listen, but I will not obey or take heed. They are lukewarm, neither cold nor hot. Though people may remind them, but they are still just listen. They just listen. They may know, but they will not follow. Even if they know that what they should do, but they will not do it. That is a typical lukewarm church. What they want is maintain the status quo. Because I'm already rich, I'm already wealthy, so I just want to keep status quo. They just want status quo. They will not be proactive and motivated to do anything, so need not be so active. No need to carry out too much thing. What we do, just do what we are doing. We have that meeting, that few meetings, then we continue that few meetings. Every evening we have the Lord's Supper every week, then we continue the Lord's Supper every week. That is their vision. They are not active or motivated, and the members of the church, maybe the elders or the pastor ask them to do something, they will do, or whatever they will do, they just do what they have done. And some of them may not do anything, even if you not ask them to do. If one of the most important thing is the prayer meeting, a lot of people, if you are a lukewarm church, Just like Laodicea, a lot of people may not join the prayer meeting. Maybe the pastor asked them to join the prayer meeting. They may come once or twice, then they will stop. They just want the status quo, but also the status quo of themselves. They just want to maintain the status quo. They do not want to initiate so many things. We don't want more service. I don't want more works. I don't want more plans to do more things, because all these things bring forth a lot of problem. Don't rock the boat. I recently have a Christian friend from Australia, and he passed by. He visits me, and we have lunch together. He is in a Chinese church, which is very big. He is also retired. He said that he wants to have some small fellowship group to have Bible study. He wants to have Bible study in the church fellowship group, such as study the book of Revelation, but the people there were not interested. Even the pastor is not supportive. No, they may not have interest in it, and blah blah blah. We can see that he is not very happy about that. This is similar to the church of Laodicea. We are not neither cold nor warm. We just want some church, some activity, but they don't want a serious to study the Bible. They don't want that, because Bible study has to prepare, has to do something. So a lot of them are not interested. From the church of Laodicea is the same. The Christian there, the Christian service is just a sense of duty. If you want to be the usher, or you want me to be a elders, I just do it as like doing a job. But his motive, which drive him to do it, is because of the sense of duty. I just want to status quo to maintain the church. It's not because he loves God, and not because he wants to do things for church, for God fervently, not because he loves the believers, love the members. Some of the members may work until die and then help him. No. If you ask me, then I will do. This is just a sense of duty, and they are not care about the lost souls. They do not care about the lost souls. This is the typical church of Laodicea. So their overall comment is, I know that you are neither cold nor hot. I rather you be cold or hot, but because you are lukewarm, I will vomit you out of my mouth. Maybe this is why today, during the end time, a lot of church is very similar to the church of Laodicea. The reason could be because we are living in a world which is very similar to the city of Laodicea. The people in Laodicea, they are very satisfied, they are wealthy, they are rich, they are proud, they are self-sufficient, they do not need any help, they are satisfied with their money, their achievement, their wealth, they are self-complacent with all this. Our society today is similar like that. Today's in this world, all in all, the world is as compared a few hundred years ago. We are now very rich, we are very prosperous, we are abundant. We have also a lot of technology advancement and education advancement. All these are truth, so that we are satisfied with our achievement and also proud of our achievement. We are living in such an epoch. We are self-happy with our status. We have rocket to moon. We can have the celestial telegraphone. We can see a lot far place. We do not afraid of any natural disaster or any man-caused problem because we are rich. That is the people about themselves and men about their pride. So that's why they mistook that they did not need God, and this kind of thinking impact our churches also. So the church also think that we are, as compared with the church of the apostolic time, compared with the Puritan, compared with the 18th and 19th century, we are advanced a lot. This the thinking of a lot of modern day church. We are advanced, we are rich, we become wealthy, we lack nothing. We have a very good organization ability. We have much better organization. We have the church is run with business plans. A lot of churches have a lot of business plans. In the old day church show their pastor and elder and deacon now a new list of business plans, such as someone handling the music, some handling the finance, some handling just like a commercial organization. This is the church of today. They have business plan, they have budget, they have a lot of figures. And in the old days, the church don't have money. They have to surrender all their money and don't know how to use the money. But now the church, just like a business organization, our numbers of members, our running is systematic. And nowadays, we know how to grow the church. In the old days, we try this, we try that. Here, go for gospel. Here, go for there, go for gospel. Now we have a lot of very good plan to make the church grow. We study a few decades, a lot of research, a few decades on how to have the church growth. What is the essence of church growth? How to make a church growth? We have studied all this, how the church grow fast, and then we can use this method to cause the church to grow, which is different from the New Testament time. We are much better, much advanced. This is one of the viewpoint of the modern day church. Now we have a better ability to share the gospel. In the old day, we hold the Bible on the pulpit to share the gospel. Now what we can share the gospel, we have a lot of method, we have a lot of advanced and simple ways, such as the gospel bridge or 4 spiritual laws. No need to talk so much. Virgin preach about an hour for sharing the gospel. Now I can do it in 5 minutes, or just like the gospel bridge or and even the prayer has draft for you. You just read it. After you read it, then you are Christian. The method to share the gospel is much more advanced. Now it's even more advanced. We have the Alpha course. The whole world is now using the Alpha course. A lot of church, no matter you are Catholic church, evangelistic church, Protestant church, all this is using the Alpha course. All this attract people to hear the so-called gospel and cause a lot of people to believe. Then we need not to talk about sin, no need to talk about repent and believe, or people will not believe in that. But our new Alpha course, a lot of people become Christian, and also have the emerging church movement, more postmodernist thinking. Postmodernist thinking, the emerging church movement, which is talking about claim that church based on use church as the center of the Christianity is over. In past 400 years, to set up the Christianity using church is not able to adapt to the change in the time of now. So we desperately need reformation. Just like Martin Luther reformed the church, what they change is what they change. They don't have not a fixed structure, do not have a fixed worship time and worship place. This is the emerging church movement. This new thing seems very attractive. So now there is a virtual church. You just wear the virtual goggle, then you can on the internet in the whole world to sit down at the same church to have worship. This is also one of the emerging church movement product. No need to go physically to the church. The church is an old thing. So all this, the current church move is very self-complacent, very wealthy, and think that they lack nothing now. Our music is very good. We are still singing the old hymns. We are still singing those old 100 and 200 years old song. And all these are translated from English to Chinese. All these words is not the same. The rhyme that is not coherent. You are still singing all this old hymn. Now we have a much better music. Now the contemporary Christian music is much better. It's just like a concert. A lot of them stand up, dance, or moving their body. The whole people is merged into the worship. Just like you just sit like a rod. What they say so is ridiculing you. You are so hard-hearted. But some people may think that way. Obviously, this is also a problem. And also, some of the believers, they do not believe in cessationism. They talk about the tongues, the gift of healing. The gift of healing, putting the hand on the people can heal people. All this gift has gone. And recently at the PM in the Bible study, the religious fundamental class, we have talked about cessationism. All these tongues, prophecy, and gift of healing has cessation, has stopped. But now return to the old way. These things are still there. Speaking in tongues, prophecy, and gift of healing is still there. It is known as continuationism. This is new, which is called the New Calvinism. This is good. A lot of people said so. A lot of people, they claim that they are Calvinistic church. They believe in this charismatic thing. We call this collectively as New Calvinism. This church, they view their faith, you view their Bible truth. It is very accurate, just as John Piper, D.A. Carson. They are very serious in studying the Bible and preach very good. They have a very characteristic which believe in Calvinism. And the Bible they use as ESV, the English Standard Version. And they don't have the Lord's Day, no need to have the Lord's Day. And their life is separate from their faith, alien from their faith. So the New Calvinism attract a lot of youngsters. Because of this, they learn what is Reformed Church. Because you don't have any demand, you are different from the old Reformed Church. We not only believe, but we have to live up to the life of a Christian, which is a matter of life. But this new communistic church doesn't mention that. They may have a lot of concert. John Piper prepared a lot of big concert, big evangelistical meeting. So that's why they said they are rich, they become rich, they lack that thing. So we should not look down on the impact of the society and the world to the church. We, without taking care, eventually impacted by the world, the value of the world, not to mention other places, just like in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, we see that a few things happen very obvious. First of all, people are getting more and more alienated, maybe because a lot of scam case. Whenever stranger contact you, you will erect a lot of shield and fence. You are worried people are cheating you, but the situation is causing a lot of people willing to help other people. The society is now like that. You are afraid of people hurting you. That's why you do not want to help other people. In the old days when we are the kid, we know the neighbors among us, and children can play with each other. When we are in neighborhood, we can be friends if we are living around neighbor, but this situation disappear. Now our neighbor will just note our head is already very good. The whole society become very alienated. But we should be very careful. This alienation enter into the church. Because if we do so, it will gradually be like that. If we do not answer the phone call of a stranger, then when we get in touch with people in the church, you may worry that person may hurt you. If I tell you a lot of things, could it be bad to me? We may have a defending heart. We want to protect ourselves. All this we have to be careful because because the Bible asks us to love each other. We love each other fervently. That is what the believers should not have any barricades. Even the unbelievers, we should care about them. We should care about our neighbor. We should care about who come to listen to the gospel. All these things we have to be careful because we live in a society of alienation. So our church should not be a church of alienation. We should love each other. We should care each other. We should help each other. Especially under this society impact, we should do even more, but not less. This is one of the impact of the world to the church, and other impact is the self-centered. Today, a lot of men are very self-centered, especially now we work from home. We trap in the home to work. The communication with other people and the relationship with other people is getting less and less, and we only care about ourselves, me first. We consider ourselves first. What can I get? What benefit can I get? What it will impact my career? What it will impact my family? This society teaches us to care about all this. Whenever we look for a job, we first of all look for a job. We look for how much salary we can get, how much time we can go for a trip, holiday trip, how to have the work-life balance. We care about ourselves, care about our livelihood, care about our life, care about ourselves. In such a self-centered society, as a believer, we have to be very careful. We should not follow the value system of this world and impact us, and eventually we become a self-centered people. Our service is thinking whether it impact my livelihood, whether it impact my time, use up a lot of my time, and impact my relationship with my family. And what is most important, we have to be careful. If we place ourselves as the center, think everything about ourselves, think about our time, all this is ourselves for consideration, then we have to pay attention, because this is not coherent with the standard of the Bible. So the impact of the world to the church is huge, and as a result, that's why Christ have such a feeling. I could visual when cold or hot, neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of my mouth. A lot of people mistook these two verses. A lot of people said that God said that Christ said that hot is serious, always serve God, then is serious, and cold. What is meant by cold? Cold is what? It is talking about the church. If the church is hot, a lot of people are serious to serve the church, serve the Lord. And then cold is that spiritual deadness, without spiritual life. The church is without spiritual life. Is what church is not, is that God Lord means, because it's I could wish you were hot or cold or hot. A lukewarm church, not cold nor hot, which is better than a cold church, icy church, as basically, at least in the Revelation, the church of Laodicea has believers, and the Lord also said that verse 19, as many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. They belong to Christ. They have, God will rebuke them and chasten them. They have life, but a lot of church, some of the believers are not born again Christian. So that's why Jesus Christ says, so don't chop it into hot, warm, and cold. What Jesus Christ say, one thing is not cold nor not hot, is not good for drinking. It will cause him be want to vomit. This is the picture. This is the meaning. A lot of people know that the water from the tap cannot be drink, because it's not very good for drinking. Either cool it down or boil hot to drink, and will not drink it at the lukewarm temperature, because this will cause him to be sickened. Lord told the church, when men drink lukewarm water, is the feeling of God. Jesus Christ to the Laodicean church is not talking about their service, which is a better explanation about that, which is not mean that Jesus Christ want the church to be cold, but want the church doesn't like lukewarm water. The feeling is the whole Bible doesn't say that God has such a feeling. Jesus Christ may have an aching heart to the church, or have anger against the church, or may wail for the church, but never said that Jesus Christ wants to vomit you out of my mouth, which is nauseating to me. It is only happened in the church of Laodicea. So the situation of church of Laodicea is sickening to God because they are lukewarm behavior in front of God. They are in such a situation and caused by Jesus Christ as nausea and disgusting. That's why Jesus Christ said, I will vomit you out of my mouth. This is the lukewarm church. Don't look at it slightingly. Lukewarm is good, better than cold. No. If we get so much grace from God, we have such a attitude to God, we are so self-complacent, pride and self-sufficient in front of God. God wants to vomit us out of His mouth, cause God to be nausea. So we have to be careful. Don't be a lukewarm church and don't be a lukewarm Christian, because this is a thing that God hates. And because of time, we talk up to this point. Let's bow down and pray. Oh dear Lord, thanks for your word. You remind us a lot of points, especially in this world. A lot of time we are impacted by the church. We are in a pride and self-sufficient society. We become self-complacent and pride. Pray for we have the initial heart to love you and willing to work for you and to walk with you and to walk with you. Pray for you help us. Don't close the door relating to you. Pray for you. Let us to be your church, a church glorify you, serve you, and serious for you. Pray for you, remind us and help us. We pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.